Thank you. Thank you, Lariel. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This is a treat for me. I shake a little bit with my Parkinson's. So the book I'm using today is I Had It All the Time, When Self-Improvement Gives Way to Ecstasy. So if you don't remember anything else about this talk, I had it all the time. It's a good thing to remember, because somehow I think most of us are just working very hard to improve ourselves. I mean, improve ourselves. So Alan Cohen is the author, and he has 27, I looked him up, he has 27 books. And they are, what I love is the language. They're easy to read, and they're very, very, very understandable, at least by me and the background that I've had in various philosophical and religious studies. So I bring these ideas to you today because although I know that we are going to keep trying to improve ourselves, I just know it. I just know it for myself, and I know it for every one of you. But there's a few ideas that are really, really good to remember. But first, I want to talk about chocolates for breakfast. So we're living in Santa Fe, and I have a new baby, and I spend a lot of time wandering around the malls because that's just a place to take a baby and rock them to sleep. So this was in the late 80s, and I'm in a little mall in Santa Fe, and I noticed a store in the mall, and it's called Chocolates for Breakfast. And all of a sudden I go, you mean I can have chocolates for breakfast? It was just an unbelievable idea for me at the time to think that I deserved to have chocolates for breakfast. So I've been working on being deserving ever since. And I do have chocolate for breakfast. I make chocolate granola, and that's what I have for breakfast. So I am not the only one who thinks this way. Every year I get this Maxine calendar from one of my clients for Christmas every year. So on January 23rd, our favorite snarky old lady says this: "Some days I treat myself to breakfast in bed. Other days I forget to leave the candy bowl on my nightstand before going to sleep." So that leads me to my first idea, which is taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself is the best thing you can do for another person. If you are want to be really if you want to think of other people before you think of yourself, taking care of yourself is what you can do for other people. What is important is the spirit in which you do anything. And it occurred to me that how we do the little things in our lives is also how we do the big things. And what we're thinking about when we're doing just a small thing are the things that we are going to be thinking about when we're doing something great. It is not, Alan Cohen says, it is not selfish to be happy. It is your highest purpose. to treat everyone as a very important person to you. A heart at peace blesses everyone it touches. So along with that is the idea of being a grateful receiver. And that idea came quite late to me, as most of my good ideas late in life. And I'm not going to talk very much about it, but I'm much more a grateful receiver, and more of a conscious receiver than I ever have been in my life. And part of that receiving is just knowing that that we are divine at our source, and we deserve gratitude from ourselves, from deep within us, and it is there. The thing that we forget is that it's there. That love and honor and respect, it's there within us. So another idea I have is that if we want to, we can see the best of everything and the best of everyone, even in a time of crisis. We can choose to express the best of ourselves. And so there's a few words from the Hopi tradition that actually Kayla read to us 2 weeks ago. And I just wanted to reiterate a few of those words because they're important to me. You have prepared to go through this crisis. Indigenous people haven't stopped singing, dancing, lighting a fire, or having fun. Don't feel guilty about being happy during this difficult time. You don't help at all by being sad and without energy. It helps everybody if good things emanate from the universe now. It is through joy that one resists. You need to be well and strong. And for that, there's no other way than to maintain a beautiful, happy, and bright vibration. And one of my favorite quotes from Abraham Hicks, the words from the Hopi, don't feel guilty about being happy. So Abraham Hicks, you cannot get poor enough to help poor people thrive. Or, and this is just for me, sick enough to help sick people get well. You only ever uplift others from your position of strength and clarity and alignment. And to me, that's just perfect. So honoring ourselves in the world. You must find a way to make the inside of yourself visible. You know the song, if you are not with the one you love, then love the one you're with. This is true for your job. This is true for so many aspects of your life. Love the life you have, and it will get better. It gets better. Love the life you have. Express your gratitude for all aspects of life. Learn how to wake up with a thank you on your lips. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You cannot come to the world with a blessing if you are not blessing yourself at first. You can't come to the world around you with gratitude without gratitude for those things that make you you, that make you divine. Have the gratitude there to lift your spirit, then take your spirit into the world and leave the world be as it is. It's just going to be as it is. You change the world by changing your world and giving the best of yourself. Another idea I have, which I personally need to work on, is making life easier. I have many annoyances in my life. Many annoyances. And life is hard when we make it so. I've been, for the last 10 months, I've been talking about how hard things have been. And have they really been hard? Or, have I managed to make them hard? A little bit of each. Try to struggle less. Somehow we think it makes life more meaningful if we have to struggle to receive something. But we don't. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to struggle. So I used to drive my son to school, especially after he wrecked his car. And I guess he was 16 or 15 or something like that. And as I dropped him, you hardly ever see your kids when they're teenagers. So this 10 minutes a day that I took him to school, it was a good deal. So I used to tell my son, as I dropped him off to school, have fun. And if you can't have fun not having fun. In other words, he has to know that he's responsible for what kind of world he is living in. And I've noticed that also, that it's the small everyday things we have to think about that we can make bigger and worse than they really are. And certainly I've managed to do this with quite a few things in my life. So I have mice in my house. Last winter we had mice and we had 9 cats. So you can tell that they weren't doing their job. Well, they're even doing less of a job now that there's only 4 cats. So I've been catching them in live traps and carrying them 600 feet to the far edge of our property. And I was getting more and more irritated at this process. And I thought, I don't have to think this way. I just don't have to think this way about the cutest little creatures. I personally don't like cleaning up after them, but it's been really fun catching them lately. I use different kinds of bait. Yesterday, and chocolate. I used chocolate the other day. Between peanut butter and fruit and bread and, just all kinds of things. And that's just a little thing, but it's gotten more fun. And I've decided that the walk for me is really good. I usually try to take a walk out in the woods, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just carry a mouse out there and walk back to the house. But I've not only varied the kinds of stuff I put in the trap, but I've gotten so I trap the mice in the daytime. I used to always leave the things on the counter at night, I wasn't catching so many, although I did catch some. But I started just leaving them in the drawer, leaving the traps in the drawer, in the silver, what used to be the silver drawer. And I catch more mice in the drawer than I do on the counter. So one idea that you hear from spiritual teachers is stop searching. And we will never stop searching. We will never stop having desires. That's part of what we do as a human being. And as a spiritual being, expressing ourselves. So we will keep searching. But what we need to do is put the emphasis on the finding, because we are finding. We are also finders of truth. And another idea that is very important to me is that if we have the attitude of little children, their innocence, their spontaneity, their happiness is a given. Everything is fun, and they, even more important, they let go of things very, very quickly. So we can choose to identify with children. It brings out the best. It brings out the best of us. All of the answers to all of our questions are inside of us. And if it's not inside, then the inspiration for the answer can be found outside. The ultimate answers, of course, are all inside. Be open to the possibilities. Know that you have only the limitations that you decide for yourself. And it's okay to have limitations, but know them as limitations that you have given to yourself. Just know them. And find yourself responding to the parts of you that will never change. That love, that desire to move forward, that desire to become is always there. And that becoming is always in the next smile we give to another person, the next nod, the next touch we give to another person. Because we will always have uncertainty around us. We will always have change. But you are your own best guru. And your guru is waiting inside of you for you to listen. For you to listen. And it's up to you to listen to your guru. And your guru may come to you in words or music or rhythm or nature, in all those ways, Remember that you can't make any mistakes. And as you head off, this path of life is not straight. It never will be. And we need to give up. We need to give up trying to make it what it's not, and enjoy the unfolding as it is. You can't make any mistakes. Every choice you make will lead you to an answer that can be a starting point to something else. You have a magnificent life. Enjoy it. Be happy. Laugh a lot. You're blessed. And now it's time for you to regale me with your questions and answers.